Shalom, giving all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations, as always, to the elect, you brothers and sisters who are coming back to the obedience of the Most High through the sacrifice made by His only begotten Son, Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, our mediator, our high priest on our way back to the Father in these latter days via the Rachakwadash, the Holy Spirit, or the Spirit Holy, that has been sent from on high, into the minds of the servants, the prophets, to go out and teach, so that the rest of the remnant, the rest of you brothers and sisters who are learning, can be sealed, and ultimately we get the hell up out of here. This is another episode going into news and prophecy, where we link the things that are happening worldwide to the Holy Scriptures, so that the faithful elect, the remnant, can know that the words of Yahweh Bashmiel Shai are faithful and true, and not be deceived or ensnared, by the wiles of the devil, and be rooted in the faith, and ultimately prepared to make spiritual decisions that lead to life, as this system is getting ready to be collapsed, and the elite, are ultimately going to play, on the flesh, and, talks of lack of resources, lack of this, lack of that, if you don't, bow to their image and take their mark. So you're going to need to ultimately be rooted in the faith in these times, and ultimately understand that provision is made, for the elect. We just have to trust the process, as an obedient, wife trusts her husband, and ultimately the things that are written in this book are faithful and true, and we know that Jacob's trouble, is our passage out of this place. So things are going to get tight, but it's right. And again, though there will be points, through this all where we'll be like, damn, kind of messed up. The Lord is always going to, give us a way out. And He's continuously going to show the elect miracles, that's going to be utilized to build our faith, as we walk through this straight gate, to salvation, because that's ultimately what's going to come of all this mess, chaos, war, and the salvation of the elect, It's going to be a dramatic salvation, Nothing that this world has ever seen before, and we're living in a time where the elite have been, outed, they've been caught, they've been investigated through, the testimony of the prophets, through, people raising up against them, exposing them. So they have no choice but to come down with great wrath, which is what's being prepared. You have the Biden administration, one side of the, this dual, system, the two-headed snake, or what the scriptures call, a beast rising up out of the sea, having two horns like a lamb, but speaking as a dragon, as we always bring this out. Let's get it in Revelation, the 13th chapter. The beast rising from the earth, and these nations are referred to as beast because they don't rule or operate, through the law, statutes, and commandments of the Heavenly Father, which is why all of them have been taken down. And this one is no different, And when you read Daniel, the 7th chapter, we know that the fourth beast, is the final beast, in the grand scheme of the heathen rulership. But we know that the fourth beast was the Western Roman Empire, but there was another little horn that issued forth from that fourth beast, which is the revival of Rome. See? And that would be the system and kingdom, that would ultimately be in rulership before the Most High sent His only begotten Son back to set a judgment. And this is what we're on our way to, and as you see, Daniel, the 7th chapter, is further expounded upon here in Revelation, the 13th chapter, in the 11th verse. The little horn that issues forth from the fourth beast is further expounded upon in Revelation, the 13th chapter, all right, as another beast in verse 11, all right, coming up out of the earth. This is the fulfillment of the deadly wound being healed, because we know the Western Roman Empire fell, okay? But around the late early 1400s came what is known as the Renaissance period, which was formulated in Italy, all right? And eventually you had the Spanish, the French, the British. Then you have America, okay, which was established, and along with NATO and the EU, it is the revival, all right, of the ancient Roman Empire, okay, with more power, a greater military, more deception, okay, and the elites of that beast system have a plan to ultimately reinvent the wheel, X out the plan of the Most High, X out, the plan of his son ruling on earth, along with the 144,000, cut off the blessing of the nation of Israel and set up their own standard via left-hand magic, technology, science, and everything else, which the science is pseudoscience. So as you see here in Revelation, the 13th chapter, all right, and if you look out into the earth, things are getting absolutely tacky. It's out of control. It's crazy. You're starting to see, more crime. You're starting to see, this immigrant situation, as we're getting ready to show you, lead to things like, all right, police states being declared. All right, now when you read Revelation, the 13th chapter, the 11th verse, it says, "And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth," the revival of the fourth beast, okay, which is complete in America, Babylon the Great, which came out of the British, as started as 13 colonies. Now you have the United States, which they're separated and divided currently, on the brink of civil war, on the brink of economic collapse. And that's all right, being formulated by the rulers, but ultimately the Most High is doing it. So I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. So the two horns like a lamb, all right, represent this system where you have the left and the right, and one problem creates the issue, the other side comes with the solution, all right, and so forth. And they seemingly seem as though they're going against each other, but both sides are leading you, all right, to the conclusion, all right, to the solution that they want, and the solution will be digital. So two horns like a lamb. We always show you that this word horn, okay, it's kiros. Just to get to the point, a mighty and valiant helper, the author of deliverance of the Messiah. And they're setting themselves up to be a Messiah, all right, through their policies. And again, what is going to be, all right, the answer? What form of safety and peace are they going to offer to people, all right, out of all of this chaos that they created? Well, it's going to be digital and scientific. And we know that that leads to the charagma, all right, and digital surveillance, all right, which gives them God-like power. So through creating all forms of chaos, all right, they're able to what? All right, bring a solution. And also through the two horns, the left-right, paradigm, pressure from above, pressure from below, all right, they get to turn, the people against another. All right. And you can see this Trump Biden thing. All right. It has people on edge. All right. And we can clearly see that whatever is going to come of this so-called election is going to lead to people losing it. All right. And we know that pretty much this NWO and everything that they're kind of trying to do is predicated upon taking your rights. So the speaking as a dragon aspect, as we always show you, but you know, you may have newer watchers, all right, is the word is dracon, all right? And when you look up, let's go to Google real quick. A draconian definition, all right, laws or their application excessively harsh and severe, all right, and that stems from who was known as Draco, okay, Draco in Athenians, that comes from Athens, Greece, which this beast system that we currently live in, it started with the Greeks. The Romans gave them their power, seat, and authority. Western Rome fell, all right, but was reinvented, reinvigorated, rebirthed through a Renaissance, which the Renaissance brought about, all right, that Greco-Roman mindset, ideology, all right, it was reestablished into the earth up into this very day. See? And you remember Hellenization, you know, going on in the Maccabees with, you know, Antiochus Epiphanes, how they forced their way up on the people. Well, they're doing it now in a digital sense. So Draco was a lawgiver, okay, also called Draco or Dracon, okay, and pretty much he replaced, you know, a regular system of law with, you know, pretty much a moral code based upon, you know, as you can see here, whose harsh legal code punished both trivial and serious crimes in Athens with death. All right. And Athens, Greece, is also the birth of democracy. All right. Which is, you know, a big part of the illusion of this very system that we live in, where it promises you freedoms and liberties and all of these, you know, all of this propaganda. But, you know, overall, all right, when it's all said and done, nobody has rights. All right. It's supposed to be, you know, a law code based upon what the people want, but through manipulation, witchcraft, you know, and all of the stuff that they're doing, you know, pretty much they're honing in on everybody's rights. All right. But at the same time, playing on people's emotions with this alphabet agenda and everything else. So the Biden administration, all right, which a lot of people say Biden is, you know, pretty much the elite got him by the balls. They have every president, because a president is nothing but, you know, a president of the corporation known as the United States. The true rulers of this system, all right, or the elites, the modern day Chaldeans, all right, just like you had Nebuchadnezzar, all right, in the ancient Neo-Babylonian Empire, but who really controlled it was the Chaldeans, okay? So as you can see here, breaking news, New York deploys National Guard, draconian measure, okay, as a migrant chaos devastates the streets. So now you have this migrant chaos, all right, which the Biden administration is responsible for just allowing millions of them over here. All right, now it's causing chaos. Okay, how is it causing chaos? Let's get an example of it here in this video before we play this one. All right, this is Jason A. America in 2024. We're just going to jump to one point in the video. And play it. Give me 1 second.
It's astounding what's happening in Jacumba, just an hour east of San Diego. It's unprecedented, and we've never had it like this. And I think if you've clearly shown, there's folks from all over the globe. There's Middle East, there's Chinese nationals. Unprecedented here in San Diego County.
With an increase in robberies perpetrated by migrants on scooters, we are now learning that the attacks may be coordinated and linked to large crime groups. One migrant telling the Post, quote, "It's much bigger than me. In a million years, I never thought you'd catch me. I've been going to Miami every 3 weeks, and it's much bigger than me."
Elon Musk jumped into the fray. He's not giving his AI competitor a pass, saying...
So as you can see, which is more in that video, we can go back to it. As you can see,
So New York
migrants are over here, right? And all kind of crime is on the rise. All right? Every week, or every day, we're seeing, all right, crimes committed by what is known as migrants. So again, you have them creating the issue, all right, but then they're also giving you a solution. And now you have a National Guard, which is going to lead to a police state. What is a police state? A totalitarian state controlled by political police force that secretly supervises, all right, the citizens' activities. And eventually, all right, it will be a technocracy, okay? As they're going to add in more and more, all right, issues, which health is going to be one of them, okay? And the solutions will then be, all right, given over to a governor or a governance known as a technocracy. What is a totalitarian? Relating to a system of government that is centralized and dictatorial and requires complete subservience of the state. So people are going to be subservient. What is a technocracy? Okay? What is a technocracy? This is what's coming. A government or control system or industry by elite of technical experts, okay, and pretty much people that deal in the field of science and technology will have the final say. And we've seen that happen in 2020 with the juice, with the Crown Royale 2019. All right, C19, people were being told what to do, all right, by people who dealt in the field of science and technology, right? Those were the people who were in front of you, telling you what you had to do, all right? And it won't be any different, but they're going to go to another level with it this time, all right? As you have the scare of migrants, you're going to have the scare of a new, all right, DX, we can call it that. All right, if you don't know what DX is, just type it in for you. Okay, just look that up. All right, which they've been planning on this for years. Okay, basically the next big thing. Okay, so they have people all over the place. All right, they have people, with the scare of a, grid attack, with the scare of immigrants, with the scare of sickness, with the scare of this, with the scare of that. Okay, and pretty soon people are going to be begging for solutions. So let's check this out. Breaking news: New York deploys National Guard as migrant chaos devastates the streets. And this is off of an individual named Ron Yates. He does some pretty good videos. Let's check him out.
So New York has now called on the help of the National Guard as chaos ensues within the city. New York Governor Kathy Hochul seems to be fully aware now that there's a growing problem in the area. It's something that Mayor Eric Adams is painfully aware of, as well as they've recently seen a spike in crime. Now, many experts believe that this is attributed to the politics of their city and the influx of illegal immigrants coming in.
See, the spike in crime is being linked to the immigrants. Okay, now we need a solution. We already showed you that digital surveillance is a big part of the solution. Okay. They're talking about digitally surveilling the border. All right. Even Trump is on board with that. At first, it was supposed to be a physical wall. All right. Well, now you see a digital wall being talked about. All right. And we already know in China, all right, they have that all-seeing surveillance state already set up. Okay. And, oh yeah, we'll have to get to this one as well. We'll go to that one, but let's keep listening.
I mean, they are a sanctuary city after all, right? Now, the problem, though, is that it's heavily affecting New Yorkers, something that experts predict can happen across the United States if this keeps up. So earlier this year, Mayor Eric Adams admitted that we're dealing with a huge humanitarian crisis. Since 2022, New York City has now become the home of 160,000 illegal immigrants and counting. And around that same time, Eric Adams had no choice but to say that there were migrants who were committing crimes within the city. He had to come out and say it. But did he clarify that it wasn't just illegal immigrants who were committing crimes? But he did clarify that it wasn't just illegal immigrants who were committing crime. He pointed to other New Yorkers as well. Now, this offended some residents residents of the city as they felt as if they're being blamed for something that they didn't do. It also does not help that many New Yorkers are now afraid of going into their own subways. Now, before I drop the T on this one, all I ask is that you guys kindly drop a quick like for the video.
See, they're scared to go into their subways. They're going to be eventually scared to go into their stores. They're going to be scared to leave their houses. Okay, so what will be the solution to this? Well, they're going to have a police state. Okay, which is going to lead to a digital surveillance state, which is going to lead to you having to enter fully into a digital system. All right, where you will be ultimately traced, tracked. Everything will be limited to you. Rationed to you. Okay, and then this bipartisan system, the two horns like a lamb, will have done its job. Okay, leading you to the speaking as a dragon aspect. All right, it's a little early. I just got up, but and then as you can keep reading, his miracles, his everything else that he's going to force you to bow to, will lead to him bringing a charagma that you're going to put in your right hand or your forehead. And through that, you will be able to buy and sell as they're going to collapse, all right, this system that we're living in. Paper money will be no more. Everything's going to go digital. And this will be a way for him, all right, to have all control. Okay, this is what's coming. And things are going to get ugly. All right, right now, things are getting dangerous in these cities. Okay, watch out for people coming to your door with scams, just knocking at your door, ringing the doorbell. Okay, talking about, oh, I found your dog, or knocking at your door, acting like they're in some dire situation. All right, they're scouting out houses. All right, in preparation to roll, and the elites are sending a lot of these people into these cities to do this. All right, so it's getting ready to be a lot of crime. It's getting ready to be hectic. It's getting ready to be unsafe in these cities. All right, and we know that they plan on shutting down these cities, setting up what is known as 15-minute cities. All right, limiting how far people can travel. All right, as a solution to the crime and the absolute chaos that's coming. See?
Yo, I totally appreciate you guys. And I just want to thank you so much for always sharing these videos. You guys are amazing. Now, guys, to date, almost 100 assaults have happened within their subway system in this year alone. It's only March. So here's what Kathy Hochul had to say about the situation. She said that New Yorkers shouldn't have to worry about deadly weapons as they're going to their job or to visit family or to go to a doctor's appointment. They shouldn't have to worry if the person sitting next to them in the subway has a weapon of some sort. To fight these crimes, Kathy Hochul is deploying 750 members of the National Guard and 250 state and MTA police officers to their subway stations. Their job will be to inspect bags of people coming through and confirm if any of them have any dangerous weapons. Wow, so everyone gets to get treated as a criminal now? But this protection is limited to check spots. So the National Guard, the MTA police, or other state law enforcement, they won't be patrolling the trains at all. The governor then said that she's working nonstop to keep New Yorkers safe.
Anyone looking to do harm or spread fear on our subways, you will be caught. Plain and simple.
And if you can't look at these people and see that they're the absolute devil, which devil just means deceiver. People get all bugged out over the word devil. It just means deceiver, diablos. Okay, these people are all wicked, and they're all put in these positions of power to forward the agenda of the true rulers. These people aren't the true rulers. They're just in league, right?
There will be consequences. This has to end. New Yorkers deserve no less. And to those who are feeling anxious whenever they walk through those turnstiles, we will stop at nothing to keep you safe, you and your family members, and restore your peace of mind.
When you see people that's part of a catch, release, repeat system, it hurts our public safety. Small number of people doing bad things to good people in the city.
If anyone's curious what the NYPD is doing, what your cops are doing, they're making arrests at or near historic levels. The real question people should be asking is, why are we arresting people 100 times? And once we make the arrest, why are they back out within a day or two sometimes?
Or why are you allowing millions of illegal immigrants, giving them funds, money, housing, telling the everyday people that they should open up their houses to the immigrant? Why are you doing that? This is madness.
more often than not.
And back to the governor's plan, one more thing she wants to do is increase the number of mental health experts in the subway, adding up to 10 more teams by the end of next year. Back to the bag checks, which are really more of a visual deterrent. The mayor wants to today bring up something that he has talked about before, installing metal detectors in the subways to pick up razors, guns, and knives.
Metal detectors, which will lead to other kind of detectors, which will lead to a full system of surveillance. Okay, problem, reaction, solution. All right, let's get the book of Jeremiah, the 50th chapter. All right, and start at 1. Babylon judged for sins against Israel. Right, and when you read Jeremiah 50 and 51, this is a letter that Jeremiah sent to the captives at Babylon by the hand of a priest named Sariah, I believe. It's at the very end of this chapter. We went into it before, but yeah, the son of Neriah named Sariah, as King Zedekiah went to pay tribute to King Nebuchadnezzar. All right, Jeremiah wrote these letters of Jeremiah 50 and 51, some of 49, I believe, to the captives at Babylon. But when you read it, okay, it's really speaking to us here in this Babylon, because the judgment is speaking of another Babylon, because the judgment of the Neo-Babylonian Empire that the Jews were captive at this time that Jeremiah was on the scene, it was taken down by the Persians and Medes. Okay, you can get that in Daniel, the 5th chapter. It gives you how the Neo-Babylonian Empire was taken down. But when you read the judgment of this Babylon that Jeremiah is writing about in 50 and 51, he's speaking specifically to us. So when you read it, Jeremiah 51 and 1, thus said the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them, all right, that rise up against me, a destroying wind. See? That ain't how ancient Neo-Babylonian Empire was taken down. It was taken down by the Persians and the Medes. All right, and, a transfer of wealth, a few wars and skirmishes here and there. But that's about it. Okay? And I will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land for the days of, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. So the Lord is allowing many fanners, and one of the fanners, as you look this word up, all right, Zawara, okay, to be a stranger, all right, foreigner, okay, and you have a lot of foreigners being brought over here who are going to raise up strife, all right. You have a lot of foreign troops over here that are going to be used to destroy not only the citizens, okay, because what's in the way of the NWO, okay, is the Constitution. See, so they need to erase the concept of America out of the way. That's why the elites are collapsing this. Okay, so that they can push ahead with their NWO. Now, when you look up Babylon, it's known as a place, all right, with mingled people. All right, Jeremiah 50 and 37. A sword is upon their horses and upon their chariots and upon all the mingled people that are in the midst of her, and they shall be as women. Let's get this real quick. All right, they shall be as women. A sword is upon her treasures, and they shall be robbed. Okay, so a bunch of things are getting ready to take place over here. The mingled people over here in Babylon, a melting pot. All right, and when you get Isaiah the 19th chapter, it tells you that Egypt are going to be like women. All right, and when things get crazy, women, they get unstable. Well, that's the environment. The men are even in a woman-like state. Everything's been effeminized. This is Isaiah 19 and 16. Let's start at 15. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, because everything's shutting down. They're collapsing this economy on purpose, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. So at that point, when this system is collapsed, if your mind is rooted in Babylon as the end all be all, America, voting, this, that, you're going to be snared. See, the elect, as it says in Isaiah, the 10th chapter or the 20th chapter. All right. No, it's Isaiah 10. Yeah. Isaiah 10 and 20. The remnant are going to what? No longer lean upon Esau, Edom. See, but they're going to lean upon Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai in sincerity and truth. See, because Egypt is going to be no more. And see, they have pretty much set this system up in a way that we've leaned upon it. All right, we have these phones, we have these jobs, we have these bills, we have the internet, we have this system that has been set up, this image that ultimately we're in the belly of the beast. See, but at some point they're gonna what? They're gonna collapse it, which is gonna lead the people that are leaning upon it. They're gonna be looking for solutions to get back to that very system. And in that point, the elect are gonna separate. We're going to know and understand how to operate through the Holy Spirit. This is why you root yourself and immerse yourself in His word now. See, a lot of these Israelites that are, worldly, have that worldly mindset, and it looks good to the masses of the people in Israel. And they're going to collapse. They're going to consent. See? They're going to consent. All right? And the scriptures say that they that consent are going to be had in derision. They're going to get the jab, as their leaders have told them. They're going to say it's going to be okay to get the charagma, and you're going to lose because you believed that this devil, after all he has done, is offering you something, all right, and leading you to a system that's really going to help you and upgrade you. When the prophets have been here telling you, do not fall for it. Never trust your enemy. So there's going to be a point where the jobs you have, everything that you are worried so much about, all right, it ain't going to be there no more. All right. And the Lord already has provision. All right. Pro before vision. He already has, he said we're going to eat. So we're going to have faith, right? It says, in that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and it shall fear because of the shaking of the hand of Yahweh, which he shaketh over it. And that's the prophets going out and prophesying, and the prophecies coming to pass. Isaiah 13 and 1, the burden of Babylon, which Isaiah, the son of Amoz, did see. And when you read these prophecies about Babylon, all right, this is talking about another Babylon. All right, you have Babel, which is tied to the Tower of Babel. We know how that ended. Then you have the Neo-Babylonian Empire. That was ran by Nebuchadnezzar, the Chaldeans. All right, which that ended, all right, in Daniel, the 5th chapter. Okay, but then you have Babylon the Great, which is the final captivity of the Israelites and the final rulership of the heathen, which that will be ruled by Esau, Edom, O daughter of Babylon, that ought to be destroyed. So it says, lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain. This is the high mountain. The banner we're lifting up is the truth, the holy scriptures. Exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles. Okay? And I remember looking it up. It may not say it here, but shaking the hand goes into rebuke, going out and prophesying. Okay? Yep, shake the hand. All right? The word shake is nawap. All right? To move to and fro. All right? To be waved. And that goes into, when you're waving your hand at someone, that goes into pretty much you rebuking them. Okay? And that's what the prophets doing out on the street corners. Okay? Shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles, which this word has entered into the gates of the nobles. Okay, the Lord would, in times past, send the prophets to go before the gates where the leaders of Israel would go in and out so that they can be told about themselves. Well, now we have the internet. It says, all right, and I have commanded my sanctified ones, and I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. And that's the elect, those who are coming to bring you the truth of the matter. Sanctified, the sanctified council. See? And pretty much we're speaking a judgment. Okay? Verse 6 says, Howl ye, for the day of Yahweh is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Okay? Therefore all hands shall be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. Why? Because things are going to get crazy. And they shall be afraid. Pangs and sorrow shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed at one another. Their faces shall be as flames. They're going to be through. Like, oh, shit. See? Those who didn't listen, you going to be in pitiful case. Okay? Behold, the day of the Lord. And this describes the same thing as Jeremiah 30 with Jacob's trouble. Okay? This is what we're going to be delivered out of. Behold, the day cometh, saith the Lord. The day of the Lord cometh, cruel, both wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereout. All right? Verse 11, and I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. So these times are coming for the wicked, the proud. See, and I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. All right. So the men of the Lord, all right, as this society decreases, all right, our value increases. Okay. This is the point, verse 15, just to jump to the point. Let's go to 14. And it shall be as a chased roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people and flee to his own land. And that's already happening. But synonymously, the Lord there's an influx of people coming up over here. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through. All right. Everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. See? Their children shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished. These are the times that we are coming into. Okay, Isaiah 19 and 16. In that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and shall fear because of the shaking of the hand of Yahweh, which he shaketh over it. And the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt, everyone that maketh mention thereof of the Israelites. All right, and you're going to have Jake on the left hand, wicked Jake, losing their minds, but ultimately they're going to tie everything to the black Hebrew Israelites. All right, because of the counsel of the Lord of hosts, which you have determined against it. All right, this is why they're preparing laws to stop this word from going out, because ultimately this word is the reason they're going to fail. This is why they're trying to move fast to get all of this in place. And eventually they're going to come after online talking points, as we're getting ready to show you what it's really leading to. Let's keep looking at a little bit of this and let's move on.
He said there are two products that seem to be the right fit for this subway and this city. We shall see.
She adds that she will restore the peace of mind to residents whenever they walk through those turnstiles. Now, the easy question from the critics is, well, what happens after that? What about the crime that doesn't happen within the subways? Some experts, though, are not convinced that these crimes are being carried out by illegal immigrants. A professor from the University of Miami says that the association between higher crime rates and illegal immigrants, it's weak. However, he also said that the data collection has been limited in this area. The idea is that police agencies across the country, they're reporting crimes to the FBI. Most of these agencies, they don't flag immigration status during an arrest, meaning that he basically argued against himself with his own statement. But still, they want to blame U.S. citizens for these crimes. Border security is becoming one of the biggest concerns for this year's presidential elections. Now, some polls show that 48 out of 50 states feel as if the number one issue for American voters is the safety of our borders. Besides that, a growing concern for critics of the Biden administration is what Attorney General Merrick Garland is pushing for. He wants people to be able to vote without having the need to identify themselves or give any kind of form of legal identification. A lot of Americans do not feel safe with this idea, especially as our borders have been left wide open for pretty much anyone to walk through. There's also
You see how they're setting it up where the people are going to be begging for that digital system. See, this is all fear. They're playing on the emotions of the people, and they got the people right where they want them. See, these issues they're bringing up, all right, are all leading to what they want, all right? As we always get, what is this, the book of Daniel 8:25, and this is speaking of Antiochus Epiphanes, but we know that which is then is now, and Antiochus was a part of what? The Greek Empire. See, what has been rebirthed into the earth? Greco-Roman ideologies through the Renaissance, all right? Daniel 8:25, and through his policy he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall he destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, and he shall be broken without hand. So by peace he shall destroy many, and through his policy he's causing his craft to prosper. Okay, the word craft, okay, and the word policy is shakal, prudence, insight, understanding, in a good sense, understanding, cunning. All right, and we know the serpent in the garden was very cunning, and Noah's serpent in the garden wasn't a snake with an apple rolling up to deceive. No. Speaking of a man, a nation of people that were in the earth in that time. And that same spirit, all right, which was in the seed of Cain, all right, the serpent, all right, it's in ultimately the biblical Edomites. And they're working with some very, very, deceptive ways. Okay, so he's causing his craft, ma, deceit and treachery. All right, deceit and treachery, man, to mislead people, to beguile. As the scriptures say, as the serpent beguiled Eve, to mislead. He's misleading you, but he's doing it in a way to where it seems like he's actually helping you. They're very deceptive, man. See?
the matter of our living expenses. While we fund wars overseas and our lawmakers fight over how many billions of dollars is sent to the Ukraine, Americans here at home, they continue to struggle. And this does not help the Biden administration and their goal to get the president reelected in November. It's also made worse by what Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said recently. The expectation is that the Fed would be cutting rates early this year, right? Well, things have changed, and Powell has also changed his tune. He says that cutting rates now would be too risky. He said that it could come in 2024. He can't give a definitive answer as to when, though. So this opens up a huge problem for President Biden, as that's the second biggest concern for Americans. Concerns that will for sure be used as ammunition against President Joe Biden's campaign, given that he promised to both protect our borders and also keep costs down. Seems like he's not really doing either. Somehow he managed to break both promises in the same year. And if we're talking about concerns, there's this huge concern of age. Biden and Trump are 81 years old and 77 years old, respectively. And the only difference is that Biden is not being charged for mishandling of classified documents because it was found that he may have dementia. Be that as it may, Hillary Clinton's still telling you that Biden's the guy who should be leading the United States. In a recent interview, Clinton said that
and the elites are just setting this shit show in front of you. You know, they want, this is all done by design. Okay? This is some serious witchcraft they got going on here, man.
we all have to accept the reality that Joe Biden is old. But she said that even though he is old, he's done an effective job and does not threaten our democracy. Critics argued that forgetting you have classified documents in multiple different places doesn't prove you're taking care of the United States. She also commented on Trump and said that he's old, barely makes sense when he talks, is dangerous, and threatens our democracy. Now with that, Hillary Clinton's asking American voters to go ahead and pick Biden because he's basically the lesser of the evil.
But as you, what it all leads to is the two horns like a lamb before they speak as a dragon. This bipartisan system, okay, is going to lead to pretty much the people clashing, the two sides clashing, and chaos. That's what you see, the chaos coming from it.
Many experts believe that it's going to take a lot more than Clinton saying this to sway many voters. In fact, recent surveys have now shown that 73% of voters feel as if Biden is just too old to lead the country. Only 42% of them said the same thing about Donald Trump, though. It's also come out that around 6 in 10 Americans were not very or not at all confident about President Biden's mental capacity to hold down the White House.
All right, so people will just go eventually lose it. All right, as let's get what what I was thinking about. Yeah, this is a good one. Because the Lord is getting ready to get us the hell up out of here. Second Esdras, the 15th chapter and the 10th verse. Behold, my people are led as a flock to the slaughter. This is why you got to wake the hell up. They're leading you to the slaughter. I will not suffer them to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm to smite Egypt with plagues as before. And the Passover is in 2 weeks. The new moon was yesterday, sundown. All right, so the Sabbath for this month is going to be Saturday sundown to Sunday sundown. We're currently in the Shabbat. All right, so the Passover is going to be in 2 weeks. All right, on May 23rd, which is going to be a Saturday at sundown. All right, and it's going to be a full moon. All right, the Passover is the second week, all right, of the first month. All right, the 14th day, which is at sundown, is the 15th day. All right, so mark that. All right, the Passover is coming up, which is a very heavy time spiritually. And we're seeing spirits be revved up. And may this be the last one. All right, because things it's going to get crazy, man. All right, things are speeding up. Okay, so we see the plagues. All right, and the Lord is going to destroy the land. Egypt shall mourn, which is this is the modern day Egypt, America, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. And this is all a part of it. They that till the ground shall mourn, the farmers, their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail and fearful constellation. Okay, the Lord is preparing famine. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. One people shall stand up to fight against another with swords in their hand. And there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. These both sides are going to clash over this Biden-Trump thing. Okay? And the course of their action shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city, and he shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid, looking for a solution. See? This is what the Bible is talking about. Okay? And synonymously, you have all of these, check this out.
We're learning new information about a cyber attack on the healthcare provider Change Healthcare that has caused problems nationwide for more than a week now. Hospitals and pharmacies all over the country can't get paid, and patients can't get prescriptions. Change Healthcare says it processes 15 billion transactions annually, touching 1 in 3 U.S. patient records. In a since-deleted post on the dark web, a Russian-speaking ransomware group known as Black Cat claimed responsibility, alleging they...
Oh, yeah, Russia. It's just, yeah, they're going to just claim responsibility. I mean, come on, man. So they're telling you what's coming. All right. And again, this is going to be another form of we have the solution. Ransomware groups take responsibility, all right, for a cyber attack that affected healthcare. So again, they're coming from all angles, man.
They stole more than 6 terabytes of data, including sensitive medical records. Change Healthcare says it has established workarounds for patients.
So things are getting bad now. What this is all leading to. Let's listen to this.
You're testifying.
This is Jordan Peterson, which pretty much over in Canada, all right, he was told that because of his views, all right, he couldn't teach as a professor until he was re-educated. So we see draconian measures taking place in Canada, but this is coming to the whole beast system.
And we will start with Dr. Peterson. Mr. Peterson, you're recognized for 5 minutes. Thank you again for being here.
As well, I would like to start by expressing my appreciation for the privilege awarded to me to testify here today. It really is an honor to be asked to do so. I'm not here to talk about January 6th or about any particular threat, insurrection, or protest, political or ideological, real or imaginary. I'm here to talk about the already extant and expanding collusion of government and corporation in restricting the individual freedom and autonomy upon which the productive, generous, and stable psyche, economy, and state are themselves necessarily founded. I'll begin my comments, therefore, in the most general terms to shed light on the mounting problem. There are now 700 million CCTVs in China under the rule of the Communist Party. The system to which those electronic eyes are attached is the most complete state apparatus of surveillance yet imagined, with the ability not only to recognize faces at a distance, but gait itself when facial features are hidden or obscured. Such capability can and will soon be augmented to the point where the movement of eyes themselves, monitored by high-resolution and intelligent cameras, will soon be sufficient to identify any aware and active party. The demented, naive, and prideful engineers who so enthusiastically helped build this system call it Skynet, after the rogue and all-seeing technology that took such a dreadfully wrong turn in the famous science fiction movie Terminator series, featuring artificially intelligent robot intelligences hell-bent on protecting themselves by destroying humanity. The name also references a well-known Chinese phrase describing the reach of the divine itself. The net of heaven is vast, yet it misses nothing, which aptly describes the capabilities of the new state apparatus. The system is integrated with the so-called Chinese social credit system, which awards its involuntary participants with a score indicating their compliance with the dictates of the Chinese Communist Party, allowing for full control over access to everything they possess electronically, most ominously their savings and their access to travel.
This is where we are. All right. And now we just read that a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, based upon your social credit score in this new world. All right. It will determine where you can go, how far you can go, what you can do, you even being able to live on the earth.
Certainly all modern means of travel, but increasingly as the electronic gates come up, even by walking, if you're a Chinese or a visitor, your access to the world can be reduced to zero if your social credit score falls beyond an arbitrary minimum. This allows you purposefully to be shut out of all activities that can be virtualized.
You see that? And it's all based on you bowing to the image. All right. We had Revelation 13. Okay. And, you know, things are going to get so bad that it's going to be justifiable in their eyes to set up a digital system. Remember, 1 Thessalonians 5:3, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall come upon them. So peace and safety is going to be the theme of reestablishing trust, because everything is so chaotic. And people are going to be saying, well, look, yeah, I'm not doing any crime. I'll freely give my soul over to this beast system, and you know, and whoever doesn't, all right, they're going to what? They're going to be separated. Okay, as we always go into, all right, Revelation 13 and 15, and he had power to give life into the image of the beast. All right, and the image of the beast is basically the ways of the ancient Greco-Roman Empire, but it's now fulfilled in the system we see here. We see it speaking. We see Rome is living. All right, even this whole climate thing is rooted in the, you know, organization called the Club of Rome. You know, that's what really secretly is running and driving this whole world is, you know, Rome. Okay. And pretty much ancient Rome as an image is speaking right before us. We see it. This NWO is all basically the image of the beast, which is what? He's the man of sin. It's all rooted in left-hand practices that aren't in line with righteousness, and calls as many as would not worship the image that they should be killed. So if you don't worship and bow to this man image, you could be killed. But we know that this word killed isn't just all the way about being physically put to death. All right. All right. Which eventually, but to abolish you. All right. Apoktino, apo, is to separate you. All right, of any kind of separation from one thing. All right, from one thing, from any kind of separation of one thing from another, by which the union of fellowship of the two is destroyed. Of separation, of distance. Okay, So we seen that. If you didn't take the juice, all of that, you were separated from certain things. Well, again, if you don't bow to the image and you have a mindset or ideology against this system, against the image of the beast, you're going to be separated, and eventually there's going to be legislation passed where you're put to death. All right, and then they come with that charagma, so that the people who are down with them are going to fully come into their system by taking that mark. Everybody else, they plan on offing them. You won't be able to live. See? You'll be separated and starved out. And that'll be their form of peace and safety, okay, to make everything better. Because the people who are with us, you were willing to, fully bow and fully submit and fully take the oath needed to get into the new world. Okay? This is why they're going so hard on the children, because they plan on doing away with many of the adult, because they have, they know too much.
And in a rapidly virtualizing world, this increasingly means all activities: driving, shopping, working, eating, finding shelter, even fraternizing with friends and family, as merely being in the presence of someone with a low social credit score means that your own score can be lowered. This has also opened up the opportunity for the government to extract slave-like labor from its citizens, so burdened, as the donation of free work to the state still constitute one means by which erring Chinese men and women can increase their score and remain part of human society. This is precisely the payment system most desired by the most tyrannical, not the work for me and benefit thereby that constitutes the contractual arrangement undertaken by free and sovereign citizens, but the work for me and I will lift the deprivation I imposed that has always been the leitmotif of the slaver. Why is any of this relevant to people in the West? Well, because the technology that the Chinese Communist Party employs is an extension of Western technology.
See? They just need the necessary setup to implement it, because people have too many freedoms over here. Okay? Listen.
Because we already fell prey to the terrible temptation of lockdown employed by that state in the face of hypothetical crisis once and in the very recent past, because we're walking step by step in the same direction, partly because of the hypothetical convenience of universal and automatic recognition of identity.
Which goes back to 2020. From the C-19 and the juice, all right, came the influx of a digital system. And as these new crises come, it will only increase to what they want. This is biblical prophecy being fulfilled in the form of the modern day Tower of Babel, where you're going to have to enter into that system to live on this earth. Okay. And again, for a while, we'll be able to, we'll have digital money. We'll be, whatever, the Lord has, but there's going to come a point where we're going to have to separate, which is going to put you at the threat of imminent death. See? And that's where the Lord is going to come through and deliver us, man. He's not going to allow the elect to be slaughtered. Some of us will go back to the spirit world for our beliefs. All right. And there's martyrs that those are set up as examples. Okay. But not all of us will. Okay. And for those of us who that is our fate. All right. In the gospel. All right. You understand death. Within the gospel, you understand that death is not the end all be all. Within the gospel, you understand that there's reward for that. And if you truly understand that, that's not a problem. All right. You'll have the feeling of, oh shit, but the Lord, you're not going to feel, he's not going to allow the elect to be tortured. It's just going to be a quick departing. You're going to go back to the spirit world. All right. And you're going to be cheering on the elect that are here on earth, man. And eventually we're all going to be reunited. That's why the scriptures tell you in the book of 1 Thessalonians, the 4th chapter. All right. In the 12th verse, let's read it in the NLT. It says, "And now, dear brothers and sisters, we want you to know what will happen to the believers who have died, so you will not grieve like the people who have no hope." So if you believe in this truth and you're listening to these lessons, you should have hope. It should be building. See, this is a lot of what a lot of Israelite groups aren't doing. They're not preparing their people's minds to make decisions that are based upon life. See? Now that you're comforted by the word death, at the end of the day, it doesn't have the power over you like it had over you in the world. Your mind has to be transformed. For if we believe that Yahushua died and rose again, even so, them also which sleep will the Most High through Yahushua bring with him. See? For this we say unto you by the word of the Lord, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of the Lord shall not prevent them which are asleep. So if a believer passes away, the Bible has it covered, right? Revelation, the 14th chapter. Revelation 14 and 12. Here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High and the faith of Yahushua. Let's read this in the NLT so you can understand. Because this is the new, after the new song is being sung, that comes with a price. Okay, this means that God's holy people must endure persecution patiently, obeying his commands and maintaining their faith in Yahushua. So the command is not to bow to the image, not to take the mark. Those are commandments. Okay, you have many Israelites who just think the commandments are just fulfilled and them having fringes on and, you know, pointing at what they can do and what they wear and them not eating pork. You're going to be commanded. We're commanded not to bow to this image. So it's going to be a deeper level of faith you're going to have, which that faith can lead to your death. See? Are you prepared for that? Are you at peace with that? Okay? Are you at peace? Before you go to sleep every night, you should say to yourself, I will die on my belief. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to bow to the fact that a man could be a woman and a woman could be a man. I'll never bow to that. Before I bow to that, I'll go back to the spirit world. Before I allow somebody to put a charagma in me to you know, experiment on me with all type of juice, and you know, I'd rather go back to the spirit world. That's how you got to believe this thing. I'm not bowing to Satan. I'm not going to be a pawn, no longer be a pawn in his madness. We did that in the world. Revelation 14 and 13, and I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, Write, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord, from henceforth saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors and their works do follow them. So understanding this gives you peace. These are the things that you Israelites need to be focusing upon while you're sitting here talking all this shit. Okay? This is the type of stuff that you need to really internalize, man, and renew your mind.
And partly because any problem whatsoever that now confronts us can easily be used to justify the increasing reach of the security and nanny state. It is said that Stone Age people, first confronted with cameras and their resultant photographs by modern anthropologists, objected to having their images captured as they feared the captivity of their souls. It turns out that such fear was prescient. The images that we leave behind while navigating virtual space are such close duplicates of our actual selves that the capture of our essence is at this point all but guaranteed. We all now have our doppelgangers. We all live so much in the virtual world in consequence of our purchasing habits and modes of electronically mediated communication that our very selves have become reducible to a frightening degree to death.
We are in the belly of the beast. Again, they have got us all accustomed to this system, this way of life, this image, you know, but through taking it away and collapsing it, you're going to have to bow to it. Okay, fully. In a way that gives your soul over to it, all right, in the coming times.
Data, the modern equivalent of our footprint, with the same data making up an image of our identity. An identity which can be and is increasingly bought and sold by the invisible corporate brokers that still mostly use it to sell us what we so desperately and carelessly and conveniently want, but can also be used to track, monitor, and punish everything we do and say. Behavioral scientists...
Yeah, like you get on social media, all right, pretty much it figures you out and knows what to send you, you know. It starts to become a digital comfort to your likes, your lust. You know? That's why you have to learn how to control. If you're going to go into that field, you have to control your algorithms. You got to know when they're trying to feed you something that feeds one of your lusts, and you got to click not interested. All right, because if not, they can shape your daily your reality, your outlook on life via just a phone. All right, this is a very, very demonic place we're in, man. But the way they get you is through your own lust. See, through offering you services that really, you know, play towards what you want, what you like. But overall, it's setting up an enslavement. All right. And overall, they'll have digital use. They won't need the physical you going forward. They can just take your personality and put it in a robot or something.
Facilitate this process with their reprehensible nudging, the practice of pushing people in a given ideologically determined direction by manipulating invisible incentives behind the scene. Corporations track purchasing decisions, developing algorithms that with increasing accuracy track our patterns of attention and action, allowing for the prediction of what might next be most enticing, doing so not only to offer us what we want, but to determine and shape what we need. Governments can and are colluding with these corporate agents to develop a picture not only of our actions, but of our thoughts and words, so that deviation from the desired end can be mapped, rewarded, and punished. The development of a digital identity and currency is nothing more than the likely end consequence of such inclinations, and the combination of both can and will facilitate the development of a surveillance state, the scope of which optimistic pessimists of totalitarianism such as George Orwell could scarcely imagine. The new AI systems, which are so rapidly emerging, do nothing but increase this danger, providing for the possibility of a super surveillance whose scope exceeds anything that mere unaugmented humans could imagine, while also making it certain that even the perceptions that in the real world shape our attitudes, conduct, and personality can be manipulated to the degree that we will not even be able to see a reality outside which that has been constructed by the superstate. The ultimate fascist collusion between gigantic self-interested corporations and paranoid security-obsessed anti-human governments. We're already selling our souls to the superstate for the purposes of immediate gratification, while being enticed to do so by
Mr. Chairman, could the witness be asked to summarize, please?
You see, they cut him off.
Do I have my 5 minutes, or do I not?
You've gone over 5
Oh, I'm sorry. I can certainly.
If the witness can summarize, we're always a little lenient with the time. If you can
I'll
summarize,
take 10 more seconds.
Yeah, look at these people, man.
With increasing ability to monitor not only the actual attention patterns and behaviors of its citizens, but to predict those that are most likely, the persecution of even potential crime becomes ever more likely. If you have nothing to hide, you will have nothing to fear, will be the slogan commandeered by those most likely to turn to surveillance to protect and control. What was the famous Soviet totalitarian joke attributed to Lavrenti Beria?
So they're going to turn to surveillance, okay, which we know the surveillance is going to go under the skin.
Of the secret police. Show me the man and I'll show you the crime. Those words were true enough in the time of Stalin's KGB, and the police were secret enough then as well. But that's nothing compared to what we can and likely will produce now. A police so secret that we will not even be able to detect their comprehensive and subtle activity. Monitoring crime so pervasive that everyone under the dictates of the system will have something to hide.
Okay. Surveillance under the skin. See if we can find that here. See if that's on YouTube. Probably not, but yeah, he goes into it. Okay, here we go.
Humans are now hackable animals. You know, the whole idea that humans have, you know, this, they have this soul or spirit and they have free will and nobody knows what's happening inside me. So whatever I choose, whether in the election or whether in the supermarket, this is my free will, that's over. We have all this still myth of free will, that everything we choose is of our own free will. And this is a myth that served us well for a couple of centuries, but now it's becoming dangerous. Previously, surveillance was mainly above the skin. Now it's going under the skin. No, I think maybe in a couple of decades when people look back, The thing they will remember from the COVID crisis is this is the moment when everything went digital. And if this was the moment when everything became monitored. That we agreed to be surveyed all the time, not just in authoritarian regimes, but even in democracies. And maybe most importantly of all, this was the moment when surveillance started going under the skin.
Surveillance under the skin. What the hell does that mean? And this is not medical information. We're just in the news. Revelation 13:16. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So they're going to destroy money. Okay, when this system collapses, things are going to be so bad, you're going to be forced to, come up under this digital hub. All right, your access to buying and selling will be determined by you having this mark. Okay, and we know that mark is not some spiritual, it's a physical thing. Okay, the beast is a carnal man. Anyway, I had a few other things to get into, but I'll come right back with another one. Hopefully y'all edified, Lord willing. All right, this brought peace to you, all right, and comfort, and was able to root you deeper into the faith and the understanding of what's going on. Okay, because the scriptures talks about Ecclesiastes 8:5. Whoso keepeth the commandment, okay, and the commandment keeping is deeper than just walking around with fringes. Again, you have to keep the precepts as well. We keep the laws to the best of our ability, all right, but we're commanded to be faithful unto death. So whoso keep the commandment shall feel no evil thing, and a wise man's heart or mind discerneth both time and judgment. So we, as the children of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, are supposed to discern the times, know where we are. And how do we know? By measuring the time diligently. 2nd Ezra 9:1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest the part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Okay, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, okay, then shalt thou understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. See? For like as all that is made in the world had the beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. At the end it shall speak. All right? So hopefully you are edified. We'll be right back, Lord willing, with more news and prophecy. Shalom.